All right, we are live. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on when you're tuning in. My name is Jonathan Torres, and joining me today, as always, is my co-host, Demily Torres-Era, who happens to be my daughter by coincidence. All right, so today we're going to kick it off with a very interesting topic, and that is holidays and homeschool. So let's get started. All right, so let's get this show on the road. So, I always like to throw in little FYIs to our audience or whoever's listening about our mistakes, and I will start this one with saying that we actually already recorded the entire show, but the camera shut off. So here we are again doing it because this is how much we love it. But we also got to hear a couple things that were like, man, I really should have mentioned that while we were live. So without further ado, let's get into the important thing, which is the topic, holidays. We're going to start off with Halloween, right? The reason we were thinking about doing Halloween or holidays in general is because we all have opinions of how much schools are or not embracing, if you may, the holidays. Obviously, right now, it's the most recent one, which we consider it one, right? Many people are going to hear it and be like, Halloween is not a holiday. Fair enough. To you, that is your opinion. That is what this is for. We have opinions. You have opinions. Let's talk about them. Let's discuss them. So for now, Halloween. Demily, previously you had mentioned that none of your teachers really did anything for Halloween, right? Other than obviously like the fall theme, right? Which we have going on over here, by the way, everybody. If you guys don't know what the bear scratches back or the cat scratches on that pumpkin say, it actually says the Homeschool Nation. It's our logo we created today. My great wife helped me finish the carving. But that's what that says. Catch it on Twitter. Catch it on our Facebook page. We actually posted up close and personal. I think we did a great job with it. But anywho, okay. So jumping into the topic, we did have a teacher, right, who did do holidays. She went out of her way to do to embrace the holidays. What is your opinion? Should more teachers do that?
Yes.
Why?
Because if you're going to school every day and you don't really spend most of the time at home, you spend more time at school, you should be able to celebrate and keep the spirit alive wherever you're going.
Fair enough. Okay. But what do you say about people, or yeah, let's just start with people first and we'll go to the teachers. People feeling like it is not fair if they don't celebrate it, right? Why is it that these holidays have to be pushed on them, per se, right? Because that's how some people feel about them like that, by the way, right? I've heard them. Actually, I've heard people in different outlets, whether it be online or even I remember hearing one time at a restaurant, overhearing a conversation. I was eavesdropping. All these restaurants always go all out. What do you say to those people? They're like, hold on, I don't celebrate them. I don't celebrate Halloween.
Well, it's kind of a hard decision because are you gonna kind of tiptoe around the people that don't celebrate it, or are the other people supposed to tiptoe around the people that do celebrate it?
Good point. Fair point. Right now, I think it's pretty obvious, in my opinion, right, that I think the majority of people are deciding, especially those people that are driving the school programs, right, are opting, it looks like, for the safer option, which is not to include anything that may offend people, right, including like Halloween. And Halloween is a big one, especially if it affects people that don't want to hear about it due to religious reasons, right? We were talking about earlier that we have celebrated it, right? I also touched base on the fact that I haven't we would never impose it on you guys if you guys opted not to celebrate it 1 year or something, right? And that's for any holiday, I believe. I really believe that we wouldn't as your parents. But we do celebrate it, but we don't see it in school, right? And again, it's because probably the school leaders, whether it be all at the top or the teachers, either I think it's a combination of it's too much work to work around everybody's kind of like comfort zone, or simply it's not worth the risk, right? And I shared an anecdote, and I'll share it actually sooner now than I did earlier in a previous recording, about the kid that I feel, looking back and thinking back to that time, probably wanted to celebrate every single holiday because he felt excluded, right? Talking about like what parents believes and what they impose on their kids. That's a whole different can of worms, different conversation. Not enough time for today's show, but to dive a little bit into it, just a little bit with our toes. When I was in school, I wasn't homeschool. I went to traditional school. Just like you got to experience at least once. We all were our on Halloween or the day before or something like that. We all were able to wear our costumes, parade around a little bit in a circle, and then get candy, right? There was like teachers or teacher aides like passing out candy. It was a great experience. But there were kids that I remember my friend didn't go to school that day. And I was sharing that when he came back, however many days that was later, maybe the next day, I don't exactly remember. When he came back, though, he still remembered that he was able to participate and he still felt left out. Because at the time, we're kids. This is elementary. This is back in Balboa. We're all talking about it still, right? And he wasn't able to participate because his mom or dad or both. And it's crazy. Something that if it happened today, if it happened back then, I think the teacher would have been in big trouble. So I won't out him. He's probably retired, but good for him. He noticed it. It was visibly bothering. It was very obvious that it was bothering my friend. I keep trying to say his name, but I was told not to. By our legal department, aka the mom. So, and we were bummed out because I now that I'm keep thinking about the moment, I want to say my buddy then was crying, and he was one of my good friends in elementary. But long story short, the teacher decided that, hey, if you wanna wear Jonathan's mask, which by the way I still had at school, I don't know what reason. It was a great. It was the mask of Scream, and I don't remember at the time watching the movie, but the character itself, the Scream character, was like super popular, right? Much like the Deadpool character is right now. Most kids don't even know exactly or shouldn't be watching the Deadpool movie if they're that young, but they know what the Deadpool character is. Same thing back then. The Scream character, it was a horror film character, and I bought the costume, right? Not knowing really what hell I was dressing up as. Which now I'm thinking about like, oh, people are gonna go crazy right now. They're gonna go, oh my god, there was probably I think it was in 6th grade or 5th grade, wearing a Scream costume, but whatever. I did wear it. My mom did buy it for me, and the little boy actually wore my mask, and the teacher called him up to the front of the classroom, and I remember he said. He gave him a bag or he gave him something. He said, or put your hand out or something. And said, go ahead, ask for a trick or treat. The kid did it. I don't remember my friend being more happier than seeing him, even if it was days later. Yes, I'm sure there's gonna be tons of parents if they ever get to hear this saying, "Oh my God, that teacher should be fired." He can't intervene in the parents' decision. I get it. As a parent, I get it. Right? But thinking back when I was a kid, thinking back to that day, man, that kid was so happy, right? He kept talking about it too, like, oh my God, this is so fun. He had never participated in it. I see both sides, right? I can already hear people arguing for both sides. And in some ways, I don't wish the teacher would have not done it. And in some ways, I can see like how it's problematic. But this is the 90s, it's a different era, just different mentality, I think, overall. Anyways, that's a little anecdote that I had, about like the Halloween, right? Well, I can't wait to talk about Thanksgiving and talk about Christmas when we get closer to them. But right now, Halloween is what we're talking about in this podcast. Do you feel that we should have teachers, possibly? It's more work for them, right? But maybe think about having like an opt-in, opt-out, like we were talking about, process where there are going to be kids from San Diego all the way across the nation and maybe even other countries that just don't partake in certain holidays, right? I feel, where I was telling you earlier, is I feel that there should be, if teachers are willing to do it and teachers are also okay with it, like Mrs. A, hey, today's class is going to involve talking about the current holiday for this month. If you, as a parent, obviously, choose for your child to not partake, don't attend class, right? We will have maybe another session for you guys or whatever, right? Thinking about the whole opt-in, opt-out kind of mentality. What is your take on the whole thing?
That would be nice if they did that, because I think some students would definitely benefit from that if they really don't want to celebrate a certain holiday.
Okay. Now, do you think it's fair for the teacher though? Because I'm not a teacher, I'm a parent. I'm just spitting out ideas like I do at work.
It would depend the person, because if the teacher is willing to do that and willing to go out of her way or his way to do that for the student, for that group of students, then that would be awesome. But if they weren't, then maybe that school has different things that they do for those students.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think there's going to be a lot of different, opinions on this, right? People saying, well, it's not fair for teachers, because obviously there's teachers that probably don't celebrate it either. But here's my biggest thing, and the reason I wanted to talk about this. In a traditional school setting, these options are very slim to none, right? We have people that we know personally that in school they can, I think, dress up, but I overheard earlier that they can't wear a mask, right? That wasn't a thing when I was going to school. Obviously, I'm sure there's maybe for specific security measures. I'm sure that's why it is now. That's traditional school. You're outside of your home. You're in a public setting. There is a lot of people mingling, talking about what they do, don't believe in. But in a homeschool setting, it's different. You can dress up. You can be whoever you want to be because you're at home, right? And I think that there's, again, without, I guess, hopefully offending anybody that doesn't participate purely because of something religious and they think whatever they think about the holiday. See, I view it, and I think we've always viewed it, as a holiday that you can dress up to be whoever you want to be, right? There's one day out of the year that I think your mom is like, fine, go get your freaking cavities. Go crazy, right? I think it's like one holiday that I think we look forward to. Kind of like when I look forward to Thanksgiving. Yeah. And that's it. And I want to say that that's how most people look at it, right? And I think it's probably, from what I'm hearing from you guys, and you guys tell me how your teachers behave with you guys and treat this whole thing as nothing. And I personally, this is my opinion. I'm not saying this is yours or, for that matter, your mom's. My opinion is that it's a little sad. Yeah,
it is.
Right? It's a little sad. You're not dressing up this year, which actually we didn't even talk about it earlier. You're not dressing up this year. I'm bummed out. I think you should, but again, that's your right not to dress. I think it would be awesome if we came on the show. We did a show on Halloween and we were dressed up. I think that's kind of cool. I haven't dressed up in, like, I don't know how many years, like 20 something years. But it would be kind of cool. Just came to my mind right now. But anywho, we want to hear from everybody listening to the show. Halloween and school thoughts, right? Thoughts, because I think it's still a conversation. I think more than ever, it's something that people are very mixed about. And I don't know that people should be, because maybe I'm not educated enough, and that's fine. I'm open to people sending me their opinions about why is such a bad holiday for anybody to celebrate, let alone kids, right? But I still think, unless someone changed my mind, that that it shouldn't be something that we kind of like almost like taboo and like, ooh, don't talk about it. It's like this, it's that. Do you agree?
Yes, and I think gearing towards the homeschool era, department, one of the awesome things about homeschool is that we don't have to worry about the rest of the environment, because you have your siblings, and that's basically all the other students maybe that you have around you.
Good point.
It's I hope I never have to feel like I can't talk about something or a holiday because of other students.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. I didn't think about it from that perspective. That's true. I mean, you're at home, you can do it. Hopefully, I mean, if there's teachers out there that disagree, also let us know, obviously, right? You want to hear. But this guy, random dude on YouTube with his daughter, is saying, what do you think? Should there, how much work is it? Because, you know what, maybe I'm totally wrong. Maybe it's like a whole bunch of work. We saw one teacher do it. So now we're kind of like saying, be like that teacher. I think it's like a popular thing. Like, you know what, Mrs. A. I actually go to work sometimes and tell my boss when they're like, hey, I'm like, you know what, dude, Mrs. A. And he's like, what the hell, Mrs. A, dude? Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to go lunch right now, but Mrs. A would say, okay. Just kidding, boss. I'm not going to say his name because I don't have authorization, but just kidding. But Mrs. A. But yeah, I mean, right? I mean, she went on her way. I don't know how much work it was. To involve everybody. I don't even know how she managed it. But I think most people participated in whatever festivity or whatever she was doing, right?
Yeah.
Again, in my opinion, with an opt-out, right? I know there's people in traditional will be like, you can't opt out, dude, unless the kid doesn't go to school all day. Fair enough. Which is why I don't think this would work in a traditional setting. But in a non-traditional, in a homeschool setting, maybe, right? Maybe it can work out. But I don't know how much work it would be. But it would be nice because I think there's a lot of parents, at least that I can think of and I speak with, that they're okay with it. Excuse me. In fact, I know somebody that's buying their kids like 3 different costumes, right? Because it's a dress-up day. It's really what it is, a dress-up day.
Yes. At the end of the day, I think if some families or some parents don't support a holiday, I think they should let their children at least experience it once, a holiday, or all of the holidays. Maybe 1 year, just let them do whatever they want on those holidays. Because at the end of the day, do children really care where Hallows Eve came from, or where Christmas or where Thanksgiving came from? They just want to participate in the activities.
You know what? And I'm going to say exactly what I said earlier to you, everybody listening. We're almost done here, but that was an opinion from someone that I believe and I know is pure-hearted and is not corrupted like an adult, because we're all adults are meshed and mashed however we have grown through the years. But this is why my co-host is not just my daughter, who is awesome, but is also someone that, has then been corrupted by different generations in the system and this and that. And, that's her pure opinion. That's her and emphasis on the pure part, in my opinion, of course. A lot of opinions. But you heard it, right? You might disagree as a parent, but understand that I mean what I say. As parents, we have molded and shifted ourselves through different times of society. And I think most of us are who we are now because, obviously, we have lived through different eras, right? I'm living now through your guys' homeschool era, which I'll leave this actually as a note, just popped in for next show. Believe it or not, I actually wasn't as big of a homeschool fanatic as your mom was. I know, I wasn't. I'll talk about it in another show, but I wasn't.
Oh.
I know. Obviously now it's a different story, but I'm gonna share why. All right, and I think it's gonna be along the lines of what a lot of people have told me to my face of why they don't believe me and your mom doing the right thing. But anyways, I'll leave that for another show. But to the point, that's what this is. Opinions. You, me, you guys out there with opinions. So if you guys enjoy this little conversation, if you guys have ideas for other conversations around homeschool, which is obviously family, school, students, they don't always going to be educational topics. They're not. They're going to be real life topics around like the homeschool.
Like this one.
Like this one, right? Which is around, family, what families go through when they're going homeschool. Let us know in the comments. Let us know on Facebook. Or they can tweet us at
We Are THN.
We Are THN. Tweet us. I started tweeting. So weird. Yeah. But if everyone else can do it, I can do it too, right? But yeah, let us know what you think. Let us know your thoughts. We appreciate you. If you guys have watched this to the end, we appreciate you guys joining. We appreciate you guys subscribing, liking the video. We appreciate the support. Share. Let other people know that would appreciate the homeschool channels, information, stuff we're trying to do on here. Hopefully have interviews soon to join us here on a 3-way, 4-way conversation. We're going to have hopefully people calling in soon as well. We need to schedule some of those people. If you like it, please let us know in the comment section. Let us know your opinions again, and let us know other future topics. For now, that is it. We're good. You have anything else?
Nope.
This is great. Thanks for joining. Thanks for watching. See ya. Boom, Demi. That was a lot better.
That was a lot better.
That was a lot better.
I talked better.
A lot better.